You were in the inauguration this morning with the Prime Minister of India. You've been involved in India as Lam Research for a while. Tell me what you thought was, I thought there was quite a lot of energy there this morning.
Yeah, the intensity of the inauguration was really impressive. The number of different companies, different speakers that were there was amazing. This is the largest Semicon event worldwide. And to see it be inaugurated by the Prime Minister, who's obviously taken a strong position in growing the semiconductor industry within India, was really impressive, really exciting. And I know even the folks that didn't understand every word of the inauguration, we were pretty excited to see the intensity and the buy-in from the government.
Yes, from the Chief Minister of the state, but also from the Prime Minister, the addresses were in Hindi, but I think you could get that energy because the room was full of like CEOs from Japan to US to Europe to India. So yeah, I think you got that sense. And I think what I got from the press conference later was that this is coming like close to the end of Semi 1.0 for India, which is basically the first phase, which is to get bits of the ecosystem in place for the whole value chain, and you're part of that. And then Semi 2.0 will start in 3 or 4 months to get the next bit. And it's everything from the design, which is already there, to manufacturing, materials, gases, and tell us what your position in that, but also what you thought.
Yeah, so we've been involved in India for a long time. We have a very large organization in Bangalore, and that organization does everything from equipment design and testing to process development, applications, modeling, analytics. So we have a pretty broad basis of skill here in India already, but obviously we've got to develop it across the entire ecosystem. What I think is really nice, what's taking us from Semi 1.0 to 2.0 is there's always been this bottoms-up development. Companies like Lam Research that want to be in India, want to come here for the talent, develop the capabilities here in India. There's now this top-down from the government, from industry worldwide, to sort of put this together and organize and develop the entire ecosystem. So Lam, obviously, we're an equipment manufacturer. We're one of the major elements in the ecosystem. We're here for the growth of the industry, for the growth of the workforce, but we're also here just as a participant in the overall ecosystem as the government plans it out.
Right, and I've been writing about the Indian semiconductor industry, electronics industry, since the 90s, and as every year or every few years you talk about, it's going to be the year for India. But actually, in the last 2 years, they've actually been putting all the bits in place because of policy right from top down, as you said. But one of the things I think is quite interesting from Semi 1.0 to 2.0, and this is a good segue into what you're doing with Semiverse, which is basically enabling that ecosystem where they don't necessarily have the leading edge fabs, but enabling them to figure out how to sort of evolve the products, the technologies, the processes. And I think we talked about it in September last year when I did a podcast with you, but I think it's moved on since then.
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe just explain the Semiverse concept first, bro.
So Semiverse overall, we are involved in the virtualization of every aspect of the semiconductor industry. We focus very heavily on virtualizing equipment and processes, but here in India, one of the things that we've really invested in early is getting the students at the institutes, at the universities, really to deeply understand what we're trying to build in the semiconductor industry. So we have deployed Simulator 3D, which is our virtual fabrication platform, basically our flagship commercial product within Semiverse Solutions. We've deployed it into an educational platform. We started at the India Institute of Science, which is IISc in Bangalore. This was right after the major announcements by Prime Minister Modi and President Biden. We deployed a course curriculum at IISc last year.
Wow.
We've now been through 2 cycles, 2 cohorts of that course. We have 36, I believe, graduates of that course. Several of them have already accepted job offers in the industry.
That's pretty good.
And now we're taking that to the next level. We're expanding. We signed a tripartite agreement with the India Semiconductor Mission, IISc, and Lam Research to expand this, to deploy this as a key element in educating 60,000 semiconductor engineers over the next 10 years. And we actually had 74, I believe, universities that want to be part of this program. We've chosen the next 20 universities that we're going to expand to beyond IISc. And IISc, Lam, and ISM are working together to take that course and bring it to 20 more universities and just begin churning out more graduates that have a foundational understanding of the semiconductor industry, what we're trying to build, how we're building it, and take that knowledge not just into being process integrators or device engineers, but being into all aspects.
Foundational, really.
It's foundational understanding of what we're trying to build, so they go out into all aspects and all elements of the semiconductor ecosystem here in India.
Now, what's quite important is you've just announced this today or this week.
Yeah.
So those 20 universities, they're listed on your website, I guess, or
They'll be part of the press release that comes out, and that's the big announcement, is those next 20 universities. We started this at IISc, one school. We've had sort of unprecedented interest, so we're super excited about how many universities want to be a part of this, how many universities see the need to inject this type of education into their programs, and so we're going to start. The next 20 are out now, and this is just going to going to keep growing over the next 10 years.
Because I mean, 20 is, if you had 74 interested, and then you need to expand it somewhere. What's the thing that's going to help you expand? Is it just your own capacity, or?
Well, so it's us, it's the platform, but a lot of it is the collaboration we've had with IISc in the first year. They've really helped standardize this, develop this, and make it more deployable to the other universities. So I have to tell you, the trilateral or tripartite agreement between ISM to facilitate this, IISc really the boots on the ground to develop the educational infrastructure, and Lam Research working together, that's what's allowing this thing to grow.
Okay, now just a bit of global context, because it's not just all about India. What does this mean to Lam Research on a global level?
Well, so again, if the industry is going to succeed, we need many, many more people in all countries of the ecosystem. And so first of all, just getting 60,000 engineers educated in India is a major element in bringing the overall global ecosystem up. I will tell you, in other countries, semiconductor education is more a standard part of the educational infrastructure. It's a little bit more common. So injecting it into India, there's a little bit
more involved.
We're starting from a bigger deficit, and we're trying to make that deficit up very quickly. And so we're also interacting with universities in all sorts of other countries, all other parts of the world. But again, in India, we have a very strong and very scalable program, but we were operating at a deficit to begin with.
So when you say that, I mean, you've got obviously in the US, Europe, and everywhere else, I mean, you've got major programs there as well?
We're developing programs of this scale. Right now in the rest of the countries, we mainly interact with universities on a bilateral basis, but it's starting to scale up, and frankly, other countries are taking notice of the India program and saying, that's the way to do it, we want to do it that way, we want to organize ourselves that way so that it's more scalable.
So this is really a catalyst for you to show the rest of the world how you want to work with that ecosystem.
Absolutely. I think India is becoming a wonderful demonstration of how this can be successful. It's already made some impact, it's already had the success, but it's blossoming very quickly. So this is a training ground for us as well.
Well, David, thank you very much.
Thank you. It's great talking to you again.